We have to talk about this.
Ba, 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 ba.
Opie is now doing the Vic Henley tour, where he wants to eulogize his buddy Vic Henley, who passed away recently.
Vic, the guy who didn't do his show for quite a while and kind of avoided him for the last few months of his life.
Yes, that Vic.
Okay,
that's the one.
Just curious.
Yeah, that's the one that Vic only came back to Opie when he was plugging his comedy show.
New album, yeah.
The new album that he dropped.
Yeah.
Hell is Real.
All right, man, I'll come and do your show, but, I'm going to die right after.
So Opie did a show where he interviews Vic's neighbor, this guy named Judd Jones. And Judd Jones is not just Vic's neighbor. He's also an aspiring comedian who tours with Vic Henley, or toured with Vic Henley. They would do shows together. Mm-hmm. The show starts off with a sappy song done by that guy. Remember Joe Salvia? He used to be the producer when Opie actually worked for a company. Before Western One said, "Oh, this is embarrassing. We don't want you on our platform anymore."
No, I did not remember him at all. But.
So that guy is a musician. Him and this guy on Twitter who plays guitar put together this song. It has the Sweet Home Alabama riff in it because that's where Vic Henley's from. Wow, there's a fucking theme today, isn't there?
My eyes are rolling.
And then it's the sappiest fucking song you've ever heard. And they play, this is 3 minutes long, they play the entire fucking thing.
And you lived your life like Caesar leaves in the wind.
Caesar leaves in the wind. See, that would have been funny. So they play this entire song at the beginning of the podcast and again at the end of the podcast. Here's a little clip of that.
Shadows are falling and I'm running out of breath. Keep me in your heart for a while. If I leave you, it doesn't mean I love you any less. Keep me in your heart for a while.
Do you know what that song is?
No.
That's a Warren Zevon song. That's the song that was on that album that he put out when he found out he had cancer.
Oh, is that what that is?
That's the Warren Zevon tune that I think he did on Letterman.
Oh, so they didn't write that song?
They did not write that song.
The way Opie made it sound was like they created a song for Vic. So they must have just recorded that.
No, they took a fucking karaoke track and then they sad asshole sing.
Oh, God.
That's what the Warren Zevon's like. Keep me in your heart for a while.
Ugh.
Absolutely.
Ugh. I hate it.
It's
no Werewolves of London.
It's no.
That's for fucking sure.
It's no Roland the Headless Thompson Gunner either.
All right. Let's talk about this guy, Judd Jones, who Opie is talking to on the show. How bad of a stand-up is Judd Jones? Here's the answer.
But yeah, man, he was, nothing but cool to me and took me around all the clubs and introduced me to everybody, and I got to open for him.
He opened for Vic Henley. That's how bad a comedian Judd Jones is. He was Vic's opener. No. Vic Henley's the opener, dummy. You're doing this wrong.
Well, I was the MC. He was the feature.
Yeah, probably. That's probably true. Let's talk about when Opie first met Vic Henley. You know, when somebody passes away who's your good friend, you probably think back to all the fond memories you have.
Sure.
And I remember when that person entered into my life. And I remember him telling the story about Carl Ruiz, because Guy Fieri had brought Carl onto the Opie and Anthony show with them, and then they just hit it off. And next thing you know, Opie's paddling around with Carl Ruiz.
Bumming off of him for subs.
So he's probably got a similar story with Vic Henley, you would think.
And it's funny, you mentioned the first time you met Vic. I honestly don't remember the first day I met Vic. I was doing radio. I believe he just came in like a million other comics.
So he made zero impression on you. He bombed on your show, wasn't funny at all. You don't remember him. That's really...
But when the divorce happened, he's the only one who'd answer his phone. Hold on a second.
That tells you a lot,
Did he
doesn't it?
interrupt this guy telling his stories about touring with Vic to tell him, by the way, when
Yeah,
I met him, I don't remember him at all?
I don't even know
Let me
how I
tell you,
met him.
that's Opie's problem. And the problem is he has to make everything about him. He can't just let things hang. He always takes it back to him. And for no reason. It's unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. Even when he's talking about Vic, he has to make it about him.
I was at the top of the mountain in the radio world.
Sure.
I wasn't fucking happy. I mean, I got a damn good life because of it and stuff. But I'm having more fun now, talking to way less people, making way less money, and
that's one of my favorite clips ever. Opie's having so much fun talking to nobody and making no money. It sounds like a good time. Sounds like a really good time. Hey, there's also these crime cat ladies. They seem like they're having fun too.
And this Judd guy's like, hey, listen, man, if you ever need anybody to come and be your co-host, I'll be glad to. Oh, dude. I bet you this kid is all over it.
For sure. He can't wait for New York City to open back up again so that he can be like, hey, because he even says, we got to get together at Gebhard's again, man. We got to get together. It's like, okay. I don't think you want to ride those coattails. They're going in the wrong direction there, buddy. But this guy, Judd, has podcasting totally figured out.
Dude, it's a simple formula, dude. If people are having a good time talking with each other and talking shit and telling stories, that's going to be interesting to people. They're going to, want to listen to that.
Jane, you ignorant slut.
Wrong! Completely wrong. Wrong! This is the entire problem with Opie, is that he thinks that people want to listen to his conversations with his idiot friends.
And even as wrong as this kid is, that would make Opie's show better, as opposed to making it like when people having a good time telling interesting stories, instead of people nodding politely to Opie telling them nonsense about himself.
And Opie...
Even this kid is like, you're doing it wrong, Opie.
Professional broadcaster Opie, you'd think the one thing he'd be good at is segues into an ad read. He's been doing this for decades. Listen to the segue into a Blue Chew spot.
Oh, Judd, I wanted to ask you about Blue Chew. Are you a boner guy?
I have that as an ISO.
Are you a boner guy?
Are you a boner guy? What's your take on boners? You pro boners or anti boners? Like, what do you think?
Oh, I thought his answer was like, "Are you gay?" Like, that's what I thought that meant. Like, I didn't know what that meant.
I got to do this ad read for Blue Chew. Are you a boner guy?
Right.
And Judd, being terrible at what he does, says, well, I don't need that kind of thing. I can get it up, no problem.
Oh, good.
Dummy, this is an ad read for Blue Chew. The thing you're supposed to say is yes and. Yeah, I'm a boner guy, and I love Blue Chew. Give me some boner pills, baby.
You get yourself some Blue Chew, your dick will be stiffer than Vic Henley and Carla Ruiz. That's how you do it.
That's how you do it. Let's talk about his ad read fail. He's talking about some CBD product, opiates. And the whole point of, you've done this for many years. When you get a sponsor, you explain the product as if you enjoy it yourself.
Correct.
The whole point is that you're endorsing what they do. And Opie's trying to do this and fails miserably. Judd tries to help him out and also fails miserably.
And I swear to you, I feel like I'm thinking clearer when I'm on the CSS5, the ECS5. I guess I'm not thinking that clear.
See, well, you're so relaxed that you fucked it up right there.
Oh, Judd Jones, that's why you're the best.
Opie should not be promoting any products that make him think better. That's not going to work. No one's going to buy it.
He should be taking them until he finds ones that work.
Right.
That's what he should be doing.
You guys are going to love this product. It makes you a good broadcaster. Like, I call bullshit. I don't think it does that.
Nope.
Oh, boy.
That's why you're the best, Judd. That's why you are opening for Vic.
You will be shocked to find out that Judd had a conversation with Vic Henley's mom.
Huh.
And Vic Henley's mom...
Very disappointed.
Thinks very highly of her son, Vic.
Oh.
She said that Vic, photographic memory, which makes sense. He would never say that, but he had a crazy memory. But she said he had a photographic memory.
Right.
She said that when he was in the second grade, the school wanted to move him up to the sixth grade.
Wow.
Okay. That's bullshit.
Correct. Well, Alabama, hold on.
In what world does it make sense to bring a second grader into the sixth grade? Is this Doogie Howser?
His mom was like, he remembered every one of my 10 rapes every day.
I mean, we did it in front of him, so he'd know, but holy shit.
Vividly, he can recite all of them to me.
But that's just such fucking nonsense. You wouldn't bring a kid from second grade to sixth grade, and Vic Henley is not smart. He's not a smart guy.
I'm so like, listen, he's dead, so whatever, I guess. Yeah, you were going to be in sixth grade. Okay.
All right. Let's figure out how smart this guy is. Explain this to me, Vinny, because I can't make any sense of this.
We actually had a gig scheduled, or multiple gigs this past weekend. He told me that he liked to book gigs on tax weekend because that was his fuck you to the government.
Right. Oh, good old Vic.
What does that have to do with fuck you to the government?
He probably didn't pay taxes on shows. He probably is one of those comics who would book shit himself and just be like, I'll take cash under the table, no problem.
That's not what they said.
Right.
That's not what he said.
But that's what I thought it meant.
He said he books gigs on April 15th as a fuck you to the government. Like, working is the opposite of fuck you to the government. Not working is a fuck you to the government.
Right.
Working means tax money is being generated.
Unless you're just not paying the tax money on it.
Even if he's not paying, there's a club of dumb people going to see Vic Henley.
Sure.
And they have to pay taxes on everything.
Sure. It's not going to make you feel better after you have to write that quarterly check or that yearly check to the government and then you go see Vic. Does that make you feel good?
No. That doesn't make any sense to me. Okay. Opie's talking about podcasting at Gebhardt's, and I thought this was interesting.
You know, with Gebhardt's, if we stayed too late, they would start turning on the music and the people would be coming in.
So, in other words, Opie comes in with this stupid Zoom recorder and says, hey, shut everything down. I'm going to do a podcast. And then after an hour or two, they're like, all right, Opie, we're going to turn on the music again and let people enjoy themselves. Like, sorry, we can't just shut everything down because you want a fucking podcast.
Yeah, there's a bar full of customers here.
Right. Those people who are in your way right now, there are customers.
Finish your beer, finish your IPA, and leave.
Yes.
Question.
Yeah.
You went to Gebhardt's, right?
I did.
You did?
Yep.
What was the environment like in that place? I mean, is it like a bar?
It is. It's a, they have the bar that's more bar than it is tables for eating. And then there's a little room in the front where you can actually be on the street.
Right.
And you're in an enclosed space, so you can actually drink at a table and you're kind of on the street as people are walking by.
Where does he podcast from in that scenario? Like, where's his spot? I'm sure you asked.
He's definitely been in the front because I've heard him like talking on the street and back then him and Carl Ruiz like, whoa, look at that chick. Whoa, look at that chick. Okay, great podcast, guys.
Opie, I want you to remember, I will be gone one day, and you can't do this.
Right. Actually, I take back what I said about Vic not being smart. It turns out he was smart.
Henley, not the voicemail girl.
Not the voicemail girl.
Okay.
She works at Panera. I doubt it.
Dub.
But Vic Henley was smart because he said this.
And it's funny, I would have even more recordings of all of us, but there were times Vic would look at me and go, turn that thing off. But I'd be like, because I got a programming mind, I'm like, oh, this is so good. We could do another hour or two. But, you know, he was right.
Sure.
Turn that damn thing off and let's just hang out. We did it. Let's just enjoy it.
So do you hear that mentality? Opie talks to his friends for an hour, calls it a podcast, and then goes, let's just keep it going. And Vic goes, no, can we stop pretending that we're podcasting? Can you just hang out? What the fuck are we doing here? And Opie thinks that, well, let's do another hour. We can get another hour in. If I leave this thing recording and we just continue to drink and say nothing and laugh about nothing. And this is really interesting because...
It says so much about his psyche, doesn't it?
It does. It does. That's the way he thinks. He's like, I got to get another hour in.
When you read into it.
I got to get another hour in.
I almost want to take it a step further and think about it. It's like the best times in his life is when he was doing a show.
Yeah.
And I imagine that the rest of his life is just really not good.
He doesn't know how to be a person.
Right. Exactly right.
Correct.
So, like, he only feels like he could be friends with people while they're on the air, which is the saddest
Correct.
part of all of it because no one wants to be on the air with you except for this Judd kid, and good luck with that.
He even said at the beginning of the show, I don't have the clip, but Judd's like, how are you doing through all this? And Opie says, you know, I'm able to turn it on for the show and get my energy up, but really I'm a mess over all of this.
Yeah.
It's like, that's who Opie is. Opie's this character. When he's doing a show and when he's not, he can't be that character, which is why he's doing YouTube Live every single day now.
Well, I want to make him feel better. Where could I buy a Vic is Dead t-shirt?
I think
How can I make Opie feel better?
Whoarethese.com. There's a link to our merchandise. I'll have the Vic is Dead up before the end of the day.
You really should have a Vic is Dead.
I should.
It's really funny.
I think I'm going to do that.
Yes, I love it. Vic is Dead.
Oh, boy. I'll share all the proceeds.
Put one of those little stupid cookies on it. One of those stupid Panera frosting cookies on it. Vic is Dead. That'd be great.
So Opie explains that he just wanted to have the Zoom recorder on all the time and just recording. And he didn't actually know when he was doing a show and not doing a show.
Just as natural as if the audio was on or not.
The line was always blurred because, like I said, I've been doing this a long time, but It was so just easy and natural with those guys.
The line was blurred because you were never doing a show.
The line was blurred because you blurred it.
Because you were never doing a show. Your version of a podcast is not a podcast. Putting a Zoom recorder down on the bar and talking to your friends is not a podcast. You lucked out that Carl Ruiz is semi-interesting. But you are not. Vic is not. Sherrod Small is not interesting. This show is not interesting in any way. I make it interesting when it's not interesting.
Correct.
And listen to how dumb Opie is. He's telling they go off on this whole thing about his aquarium that he has. He had to go back into New York City to get his aquarium, bring that back to Long Island where he's staying now. And he talks about this fish that had babies, and he thinks that fish are people.
And then the fucking savage Molly mother just starts eating her own kids, basically.
Hey, man, Hakuna Matata, motherfucker.
Oh, my God. This thing.
That's how it works.
But how do you go through life and you get pregnant as a stupid fucking fish, and you know you're carrying something in your belly, whatever knowledge they got, and then you give birth to 100 baby fish, and then your first thought is, I got to eat all of them.
You answered your own question, asshole. It's a stupid fucking fish.
Yeah.
You know how much a molly costs? If you go to the pet store to buy a molly, they're like $2.
Yeah. Opie's
okay, they're not.
Understanding.
They're not like even a good fish. You stupid asshole.
He goes, you know you're pregnant. You know you're pregnant with baby fish. Like, why do you think that? Why would you think you're putting human intelligence and emotion into a fish?
Correct.
It's not a human. You fucking moron. But he does have some hot takes. This is his hot take on Carol Baskin.
And Carol Baskin.
And I want to point out, this is a new episode. Who would be still talking about Carol Baskin?
I would never be a part of any show that's so lame.
And Carol Baskin killed her husband. Fed him to the tigers. I have no doubt in my mind.
It's a hot take, Opie. Good job, buddy. Let's talk about the fact that Opie's going to teach us something.
And here's the other thing I'm going to teach you.
That sounds like a Weezism.
I thought the same thing. Thank you. When I heard that, I was like, that's something Weez would say.
And here's the other thing I'm going to teach you.
Let me tell you, bro.
Here's the other thing I'm going to teach you right now. If you leave before they bring the check, it magically disappears.
So it's interesting to know that Vic Henley was an insecure hack, which is good. Maybe he was smart, because he would say this to Opie.
He would always be, after a radio show or a podcast, that was good, right, buddy? That was good, right? I'm like, oh, God, Vic, of course it was good. It was effortless, always with him.
I agree that it was effortless. That part I agree with. I think Vic Henley was always effortless.
I don't think that makes Vic. I think that actually makes Vic a better person. Going, are you sure this is all right? But like Vic was actually trying to like get him to improve his show.
Correct, and that makes me happy because the fact that he was that bad on podcasts and always had to ask, was that good? I've never had a single co-host ask me that after we've done a show down here.
Because none of us care.
Because we all know it's not good. Correct. It's fine. We're moving on from it. But that's some serious insecurity right there. Hey, I got a quick question for you.
Are you a boner guy?
All right. So
I've had only one comic ask me that, and he asked me that like 75 times in a weekend. I'm not going to tell you who it is.
Oh, really? Of course it was! Somebody, I think it was in our subreddit, said that we should go back and revisit My Wife Hates Me.
Why would you do that?
See what's going on.
Why would you bring him up right now?
See what's going on with those two assholes.
Right now? Why would you bring him up? Obviously, that's not who I'm talking about.
No, it could have been Bonnie. There's a lot of people on that show.
It was the daughter.
It could have been the daughter.
It was the daughter.
All right, so Crozier and I, on a bonus episode, broke down Vic Henley's stand-up special, Hell is Real. And his crowd work is atrocious.
Well, if anyone would know, Vic Henley would know now, doesn't he?
That's true. That's a good point. For doing podcasts with Opie, I sentenced you to... So this is...
Hell is Real!
This is Judd talking about crowd work that Vic did and fawning over it. And you're a comedian, so I wanted you to hear this and tell me what your take is on it.
Okay.
There was a table in the front, and it was 20-something people at the table, 25 people. I mean, it was a long table that went straight from the stage out, you know.
The rest of the room is
empty. It was all black folks, like in their 20s and 30s, and there was one white dude at the end.
Yeah.
right, who was with like a chick who was black or whatever. So he's sitting on the end. It was all black folks from, the whole table like that. And Vic noticed it, right? And he goes, oh, hello, black people, like that, and then, right. And then he sees that white dude. He goes, oh, white guy on the end. And then the people kind of holler, whatever. And he goes, I'm going to call this table reparations.
Perfect.
It was beautiful, dude. I mean, it was just perfect. I mean, but he had,
Can you explain that to me, Vinny? Why is that funny?
Nope, can't explain it.
See, the joke would be, oh, that must be the coach. Or, oh, that's the boss.
Hey, coach, this is a good one.
Right. Reparations, I don't get what that means. What does that have to do with a white person hanging out with black people?
Right. It makes not a lot of sense, but the word reparations is just what he thought was the punchline. So the word, you gotta laugh.
Right. Because there's tension with black and white, and here's this white redneck and addressing black people. I mean, better than what Michael Richards did, but not great.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say that this kid's recollection of the situation might be a little hazy as to how huge it went over with the room. It may have gotten a chuckle.
That's funny.
Oh, okay.
Although,
do the Caesar leaves bit.
I don't know if he's sweetening it or not. Oh my God, that was so funny. You sent me a pic of your Sirius XM radio.
Car.
You're in your car listening to whatever the stand-up.
Raw Dog.
Yeah. And fucking Caesar Leaves comes on. Oh man, it's the worst bit.
They played that album over and over again for like a week on Sirius XM. A lot. That album was getting a shocking amount of airplay. Wow. Every time I felt like I got in my car, I was hearing Vic Henley, and then he was dead. And I was like, wow, this guy finally got,
he got some notoriety.
Publicity, some notoriety. They really played his shit.
Yep.
I was impressed that he got so much press.
I haven't listened to Raw Dog in years.
Ron left.
Yeah.
Since Bennington left.
Right. I haven't listened to it in years. And I just realized why. Fucking Vic Henley's in regular rotation on there.
A lot of the Sirius XM, Sherrod Smalls is in there sometimes. Yeah, well, all those guys got in.
Those guys have connections over there. So, all right, this is the last thing I want to play from Opie.
Won't play my shit. Fuck you guys.
Come on, guys, play Vinnie Paulino.
Yeah.
I'll put in a good word for you. I'll be like, you guys got to play Vinnie Paulino. You knew I was going to go. All right. This is the best part about this show because it's something that I've already said on WATP.
So me and some of my friends on the internet have decided that you are responsible for Vic's death.
What?
Yeah, since you didn't bring him out to your house on the beach.
Are you crazy?
So I actually predicted that Vic was going to die right before he died because Opie said he wasn't going to let him come out in New York City and stay with him on Long Island. And thankfully, Judd brought it up to him like, you killed Vic. And we all know it.
Yes.
And Sherrod Small should be very afraid right now.
So who else is even on the short list for that? E-Rock? No, E-Rock hates him.
Sherrod's the only other guy who does that show.
Yeah.
So Sherrod is next.
Actually, Judd, I'd be worried about your self-fulfilling prophecy there, asshole.
Yeah, no shit.
You're lining up, kid.